A battle's been going for the last couple of years between two main contenders. I am of course talking about the Sega Saturn and the Sony PlayStation. These two console-based game systems have been fighting out tooth and nail. It's been equal necking. Two 32-bit systems with a whole load of games and a whole load of people that want to play them. But now there is a new kid on the block, and it comes in the shape of this little baby. Look at it, it's gorgeous, isn't it? The Nintendo 64, different in many ways. To begin with, it's a 64-bit system, which means, quite simply, it's twice as powerful as the other two systems. It's apparently got advantages in terms of graphics. It can handle texture graphics more quickly. It's got more room to fit more gaming in there. It's got a whole new range of titles. Apparently, its translucent graphic capability is fantastic. God knows what that is. It's just come out onto the market. It's the thing that everyone's talking about. So we thought, on the store, what better than to get 3 game systems in, and in fact 3 games players to talk about them. First up, it's Val. How you doing, Val?
Hello, how's it going?
You're looking funky today, can I just say that?
Oh, cheers.
Are you a bit of a games fan?
I am indeed, yeah. Not obsessive, I'm not in the arcade all day.
Yeah.
But I do like a good game.
Okay, you've been on all 3 systems, but I'm going to ask you to talk about the Sega Saturn first. You're playing Manx TT, which is the latest and greatest title they've got to offer, and it's hopefully their place to try and take on Nintendo at their own game. What do you think?
Well, it's okay, it's good fun, but it has to be said that I feel I've played this before, maybe in the 80s. I mean...
Interesting. So you think graphically, in terms of gameplay...
It's quite juttery, quite pixely. I'm not saying it's not fun, because I mean, I can have as much fun as anyone on Atari, you know what I'm saying, playing tennis, but it's just, it's unnatural.
Okay. What do you think about the other 2 titles? I mean, I know that you're a big snowboard fan.
Yeah.
We've got a snowboarding title we're going to see in a minute on the PlayStation. How about that in comparison to, say, this machine?
Well, the sound effects are better. It's all together a lot smoother.
Yeah.
It seems to be. Also, I mean, it's just a small criticism, but the actual hand part, the actual control, I'd get cramp if I was.
I don't think it's a small criticism. I think it's really valid. Okay. Finally, the Nintendo 64. That's the new kid on the block that everyone wants to know about. How did you find it?
Graphics are incredible. It's almost like watching a cartoon. It's just smooth.
So you think it merits all the fuss?
Yeah, and the actual design of the handheld control as well. It's wicked.
Excellent. Okay. Just for those people who don't know, in order to combat this new machine, which is around about the 250 mark, both PlayStation and Saturn have come right down in price, which does make it slightly different in that they're not equally priced. There's about £100 difference between buying a Nintendo and buying one of these 2 machines. Eric, how you doing?
Not too bad, thanks.
Eric's actually our cameraman. You might, well, you wouldn't recognise him, would you? Because normally you're on the camera. You're playing the Nintendo. What do you think?
This is fantastic. You know, there's nothing that compares to it that I've seen.
I mean, this was the first time you played it today, wasn't it? About half an hour ago.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been down very long either. So.
Are you a big games fan?
I do like games, yeah.
Yeah, I know you were playing the Sony earlier. You were bombing around on Cool Borders, their snowboarding game. How does the Pilot Wings that you're playing on the 64 compare?
It's difficult to compare them. I mean, because I mean that's a good simulator, and it's a lot of fun to play. But I mean, the graphics on this, and just everything that this game does is just fantastic.
What about the fact that there are only currently 4 or 5 titles available for the 64, but possibly 400 or 500 for the PlayStation?
I mean, it's got to be a drawback, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what about the difference in price? I mean, does £100 make you go for the Sony or what?
I think as an introductory price, it's bound to be pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah.
But things always come down after a couple of years, don't they?
Okay,
You
sounds
can
like
find it more
your decision's made there. Corey, you're the last man on there, and the one most engrossed in the game. And how you doing?
Enjoying it.
Corey, you might remember, has been on the store before, demonstrating the latest in click-on bindings for snowboards. So it's
Switch,
appropriate.
it was called. Click is another system.
Is it? What was it called?
That's their main competitor.
Get it
so
right,
we can't
Jace.
get it. Switch.
Get it right, Jace.
Yeah, Switch was it.
But therefore it's appropriate you're playing the snowboarding game, aren't you?
Yeah.
But it's the system I'm most interested in. You've had to go on all 3 systems. What are your views?
The graphics are really good on the new Nintendo. Like, they, just a close attention to detail is really good, but the selection of games, I think, on the PlayStation are what makes it happen, because, like, this game is, like, it's sensitive to the way you actually ride. If you're doing a late 180 or any kind of move, you can hold a button down and get a reaction from it.
So what I guess you're saying is that if the playability is there, it's not necessarily worth an extra £100 to get like mist and translucent water textures and stuff.
If you paid an extra £100 and you get the graphics for sure on that, but I think if they do come up with all these games on those kind of graphics, then yeah, that'd be it.
So what about the argument that this possibly is the future, but right now it doesn't quite cut it in comparison to the offerings from Sony and Sega?
That's just it. They just gotta come up with more games.
Okay. Well, thanks all for playing. Keep playing. I wouldn't want to get in between any of you and your gameplay. I think I'm going to go to Val for the final word. You've heard what's been said.
Yeah.
I'd like you to rate them for me. What's in the third position?
Third position, unfortunately, is the Sega Saturn.
Would everyone agree with that? Okay, so it's an unanimous third prize. But I've got to say myself, I do think Manx TT is an extremely strong arcade conversion, and I'd buy a Saturn just based on this particular game. So
no, this is incredibly playable.
It is, isn't it? It's a good player. In second place is a tight call. What are you going to say? You're going to go for the extra games, or you're going to go for the N64?
I'm actually going to go second for the new Nintendo system, but that's almost biased because I've only played one game.
You haven't played enough of it. Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting. So we've got one vote for second place for the Nintendo. Anyone going to put the Nintendo in first place? Eric? Corey?
Nintendo's in first place.
Yeah.
Like it, they are.